Hi everyone! Well, many of you have expressed a lot of interest in Ndrangheta in the comments following many of our videos. So we wanted to take another look at this organisation in a few more videos about this addictively fascinating syndicate. As you all probably know by now, the Ndrangheta is one of the most dangerous criminal organisations in Italy. Born in Calabria, it's also known as picciotteria and, like the Camorra and Cosa Nostra, has clear mafia connotations. Currently, this criminal group is present in all inhabited continents of the world, and this shows just how powerful it is. In the course of its history, numerous characters have been part of this mysterious and dangerous organisation. And amongst these is Antonio Pelle, boss of the Pelle family of San Luca. But who was this mafioso, and how did he manage to acquire fame and power within the Ndrangheta? Well, to answer that, let's take a look at his origins. Antonio Pelle was born in a humble house in San Luca in 1932. Now, San Luca is a small town located in the south of Calabria and did not offer the young Pelle many opportunities for education and, of course, a career. Antonio is the fourth child of a family with few means at its disposal. Together with his father, he worked as a shepherd and didn't even manage to attend elementary school. From a very early age, Antonio proves to be very disciplined and carries out his work with professionalism and care, taking the animals to pasture as far as the sanctuary of the Madonna di Polsi. In the simple and very impoverished environment in which he lives, little Antonio develops the desire to join the Ndrangheta, the only group that would therefore allow him to raise his social status. Now, it's not easy to join the organisation, and the boy is not related to men belonging to this group. But with time, however, he gets noticed and begins to collect a track record of crimes. Pelle was first charged with theft in 1957. He's almost immediately released for lack of evidence, but the young man continues to delve into illegality. In 1958, he was wounded in the leg by a shotgun blast. And because of this incident, he will begin to limp, and for this he earns the nickname of Ntoni Gambazza, which means bad leg. Antonio participates in his first murder in 1961. Following the killing of an important mobster of the local criminality, Sebastiano Pizzata, Antonio shows up at the Carabinieri barracks and takes all the blame. His reconstruction doesn't seem to perfectly match the reality of events, so in reality maybe it wasn't actually he who killed the man. Pelle, however, is calm. Although he's married with children, he doesn't seem to fear the verdict, perhaps because he's sure that he has the support of his gang. For Pizzata's murder, he must serve 11 years, 11 months and 11 days of imprisonment. And from this first imprisonment, he will rise to enormous power. Pelle is imprisoned in the Tuscan jail of Pianosa Island, and then transferred to Puglia. In 1971, the mafioso manages to escape and becomes a fugitive. And during the years of hiding, he forges important ties that will bring him to power. Among these has to be highlighted the friendship with the boss Giuseppe Morabito, and yes, we have discussed him too in our other videos about the Ndrangheta, which of course you should definitely check out. Pelle's period as a fugitive also marked an important phase in the Ndrangheta's early development, and that was a phase of corruption and numerous kidnappings. And these kidnappings were carried out with one primary purpose: to raise money. A lot of money. So in fact, thanks to these ransoms, the organisation then finally has the means to secure its power base and establish its reputation. Antonio's career is again interrupted by another arrest. In 1977, in fact, his days of being on the run end suddenly when he's recognised by chance by Carabinieri out on patrol. As it turned out, Pelle was not hiding too far from his hometown of San Luca. In fact, he was hiding in the nearby town of Benestare. And as we told you before, many mobsters just tend not to hide too far away from their centre of power because they obviously need to stay around to maintain that very power. So, it all seems to be over for the Ndrangheta boss. But no, it's not. A few years later, something unexpected and very rare happens. The President of the Republic, Sandro Pertini, pardoned the criminal in 1981. So Antonio's out of prison again, this time legitimately, but on probation. And this semi-freedom, of course, doesn't stop him. Pelle, unsurprisingly, has not repented and wants to continue making money and bringing his gang to the pinnacle of power. And this time, he's found the way to do it: drug trafficking. Now, to outward appearance, Pelle works as a forestry worker. But according to several mafia turncoats, he is in fact now taken over the reins of the San Luca group. And this is amply demonstrated with his clear relations with Morabito and Papaglia. But it's not long before his name once again pops up in front of the forces of law and order in the 1990s. And in this period, in fact, a particular operation dealing with drug trafficking in the Mediterranean was being carried out. Now, the operation was called Lady O because this is the name of the ship that was carrying the merchandise on behalf of the criminal organisation. Pelle's name pops up with law enforcement yet again, and the mafioso was eventually intercepted in a bar near Milan whilst organising the movement of the heroin. Now, Antonio was a major linchpin of this operation because, as it turns out, that together with the Sacra Corona Unita and Morabito, he was setting up a new and significant international hashish trafficking route. And so, it was for drug trafficking and criminal association that Pelle was finally sentenced to 26 years in prison. But in 2000, he manages to escape again. Yeah, some of these guys are just impossible to keep behind bars. And just like Chapo Guzman and Felice Maniero, and by the way, do let us know if you're interested in hearing more about those two. We'll put some videos together about them. But back to our story and to the capture of Pelle. Well, Antonio becomes a fugitive for the second time and remains so for 9 years. But a simple distraction finally betrays him in 2009. Just a year earlier, the police had found a secret passage in the boss's house and realised, of course, he couldn't be far away. Following his wife, Giuseppina, they finally managed to track him down. In fact, in June, Pelle was admitted to hospital in Polistena for a hernia issue. And when the Carabinieri raided the hospital, the boss sighs and states, "It's all over," as they came to arrest him. He just didn't want to run or hide anymore. And because of his illness, Antonio was placed under house arrest. Just a short time later, in November of the same year, he died at the age of 77. Now, Antonio Pelle was one of the most feared fugitive bosses of the Ndrangheta. In spite of years of hiding and arrest, he was still able to build a terrible criminal network that brought his legendary group to power. What on earth drives these men, eh? So there you go, stirring stuff. And we've several more videos coming up looking at the Ndrangheta in more detail, so do make sure you don't miss out on those. So until next time, it's ciao for now.